Before I talk about this workout, let me explain what enabled me to shoot this video. So to do that, we got to rewind to the Dipsy a few weeks ago, and my MCTC teammate Tom Rosenkrantz shows up with a little camera attached to the brim of his hat. I'm thinking, how could they possibly make a camera that small, and what have they compromised on? What about stabilization? I have a GoPro 4, and the footage is practically unwatchable. Well, I checked out Tom's footage after the race and was blown away by the quality and in particular the near perfect stabilization. Check out the link to his video in the description. Anyway, after seeing that, I had to have one, and so here I am. The camera is called the Insta360 Go 2. It weighs 1 ounce compared to my GoPro's 2.6 ounces. And that might not sound like much, but it's the difference between using this ridiculous chest strap that makes me feel like I'm putting on a bulletproof vest and just clipping the camera to the brim of my hat and forgetting it's there. So another way you can wear this action camera is with this magnetic pendant. Put it around your neck, drop it through your shirt. Ideally, hold it in place with a piece of tape or a band like this. And you just take the camera, pop it right on there, and it stays, at least it stays on the pendant very well, but you do get some bouncing if the pendant's not held in place. Okay, on to the workout. So this was one I've been wanting to do for a while, but it's been tough to find the right timing since it's really difficult to get over to the East Bay and back on a weekday from SF. I did 2 reps, one all the way up to Vollmer Peak and then one all the way back down, targeting the KOMs on both. The downhill segment was the Real Harvey Quad Banger, which I'd never run before, but was aptly named by an East Bay ultra runner, Lucas Horan, who sadly passed away in late 2020. The uphill segment was the rather boringly named Claremont to Vollmer, and Chris Thoburn, another East Bay ultra runner, held the KOMs on both. So let me warn you that the footage I got kind of sucked. But it's completely my fault and not the camera's. So I wore a hat with a very floppy brim, so the camera was already pointing towards the ground, and then much of the climb was really steep, so you just see about 5 feet in front of me. I just need a more rigid hat and to play around with the angle of the mountain. Anyway, the climb starts out steep and gets even steeper. The first 0.8 miles gains 738 feet at an average gradient of 17.5%. I kept a steady rhythm on this section, trying not to push too hard, since I knew I was in for a 26 or so minute effort. After this section, you get 0.8 miles with a lot of up and down, but it only averages 3%. These are the kind of sections I like to think I can do well with because I can handle the transitions between up and down and let my foot speed take over on the downhill. Then comes a crazy steep quarter mile at 28%, and at the top you're only 200 feet below the finish, but still with 1.4 miles to run. So there's a lot of rollers for a while, and there's some places to make a wrong turn, which actually fooled me the last time I tried out this route. Eventually, you get on the road, and the last 1.1 miles are actually all paved. I kept the effort in check on this stretch, but then the last quarter mile kicks up above 25% again, so I was pretty tired by the top. And I was pretty happy with the 5 flat GAP and the KOM by a solid margin, but I do have to mention that Matt Seidel, yet another East Bay ultra runner, was ahead of my pace for the first 2.1 miles of a workout that he did a few months ago, before he turned into a different direction. So he could probably get this KOM. and I'd love to have a reason to come back here. Unfortunately, I thought I recorded the entire downhill, which would have been some really cool footage, but I didn't. So I'm going to let this experimental footage play that I recorded from the back of my hat. Let me know in the comments if this is a view worth getting. Anyway, my biggest negative with this camera is that there's no audible feedback when you start or stop recording. Also, there seems to be some kind of auto stop built in. So basically, I totally messed up where I wanted to get footage. Um, there are visual indicators on the camera, um, but I obviously can't see those when it's, clipped to my hat. So, I guess I'm just gonna have to reach up, pull out the camera, and look at it every time I want to start or stop, which kind of sucks if you're mid-rep. But anyway, the downhill was super pounding, as you can imagine, and I was mostly just trying not to sprain an ankle or take a fall, but still happy to snag a KOM there and complete my Vollmer Peak raid. Um, Hoping to get more runs in the East Bay. Particularly the French Trail is one that I've got my eye on. That's it for this workout, but let me leave you with a quick tour of Berkeley's campus on my cooldown. Such a fun campus to run through, all sorts of cool little paths and passageways. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this camera, especially once I dial in my setup and get familiar with operating it. I've been wanting to record video of my trail workouts and long runs for a while, but I'm not willing to carry a bunch of extra gear to do so, and obviously the footage needs to be quality. This camera seems to solve both those problems, so I'm pretty excited about the potential to record some workouts and make short videos out of them.